There's a strange silence growing behind all the noise. The noise of constant updates. The buzz of breaking news. The race for innovation. The launch of yet another AI tool that claims to change everything. And beneath it all, a quiet, pulsing fear that no one wants to name out loud. What if I become irrelevant? Not because you made a mistake, not because you stopped trying, but because the world you trained for, the career you gave years to, is being rewritten by lines of code. You open LinkedIn, and it feels like everyone is either panicking or pretending. You read articles titled 10 Jobs AI Will Kill and wonder which category you're secretly in. You scroll past productivity influencers with perfect morning routines powered by ChatGPT and wonder, am I already behind? And in that moment, brief, invisible, but real, you feel the weight of an unspoken truth. You didn't ask for this future, but it's here anyway. But let's pause there. Because this book is not about fear. This is a book about you. About what remains when everything shifts. About how to stay human in a world trying to become machine-like. And about how the parts of you that AI can never replicate, your soul, your story, your sense of meaning, are not liabilities. They are your greatest assets. You are not here to compete with code. You are here to transcend it. To reclaim your identity from algorithms. To redefine success beyond output. To choose presence in a time of automation. To live not just efficiently but fully. So yes, this world is changing. Rapidly. Unpredictably. Sometimes unfairly. But within that disruption is an opening. A space to ask deeper questions. Who am I when my job disappears? What do I have that no machine will ever touch? What if this isn't the end, but the beginning of something truer? If these questions stir something inside you, this book was written for you. Let's begin. Change used to move slowly. It came in generations. You'd study one thing, get a job in that field, and do it for decades, maybe even a lifetime. There were rules, predictability, a path to follow. Then one day, the rules broke. At first, it was subtle. A company laid off a few workers because a new system could optimize workflows. A designer got passed over because a new AI could generate a logo in 10 seconds. A marketing agency downsized AI could now write full ad campaigns. And then it wasn't subtle anymore. Tech giants fired thousands. Entire departments vanished. College students began asking, should I even study this? The world didn't just evolve, it flipped. The old game is over. For decades, society ran on a clear equation. Learn a skill, get a job, climb the ladder, retire secure. But artificial intelligence doesn't play that game. It doesn't wait for promotions. It doesn't ask for raises. It doesn't burn out. It works faster, cheaper, scalably. And that terrifies people, not because AI is evil, but because it rewrites the value system we were all taught to live by. What makes this shift so unsettling? 1. It's happening fast. What took a generation in the Industrial Revolution is now unfolding in months. AI models improve exponentially. Tools released last year are already obsolete. 2. It's affecting safe jobs. Doctors, lawyers, writers, software engineers. No one expected white-collar work to be on the chopping block. But here we are. 3. It's emotionally disorienting. When your skills are questioned, your identity is shaken. You don't just lose work, you lose worth. Or at least, that's how it feels. A personal earthquake. When AI enters your industry, it doesn't knock politely. It crashes through the door and whispers, "You're not needed anymore." Whether true or not, the impact is real. Anxiety spikes. Imposter syndrome deepens. You question everything: your degree, your years of experience, your next move. The ground shifts beneath your feet. And that's terrifying. But also, that's where transformation begins. Because when the old map no longer works, you are forced to draw your own. That is not a curse. It's a calling. In a world obsessed with speed, output, and optimization, it's easy to forget. You are not here to be efficient. You are here to be alive. While machines are trained to perform, you were born to feel, to imagine, to choose, to be. That's not just poetic. It's powerful. Because in the age of AI, what sets you apart isn't your productivity. It's your presence. Machines can simulate, but they can't be. AI can write music, but it cannot weep at a song. It can craft a love poem, but it has never had its heart broken. It can generate art, but it doesn't create from longing, grief, or joy. You do. And that's not a weakness. That's your human advantage. The gift of emotion. We've been taught to suppress emotion in the workplace. Don't take it personally. Be professional. Stay objective. But the very thing AI lacks emotion is the very thing that makes you irreplaceable. Your empathy allows you to lead with compassion. Your intuition helps you navigate ambiguity. Your vulnerability allows others to trust you. Your joy lifts a room more than any algorithm ever could. Emotions aren't noise. They're data of the soul. Machines have intelligence. You have depth. The power of story. AI can generate content, but it doesn't live a story. It doesn't know what it's like to lose a parent, fight to belong, heal after betrayal, start over at 47, fall in love at 73. Only you carry the layers, the contradictions, the beauty of a life actually lived. And when you speak from that place, not from Polish, but from truth, people don't just hear you. They feel you. No technology can compete with that. Your soul is not for sale. You are not a product. You are not a platform. You are not a brand. You are a living, breathing human being. A soul in motion. A story unfolding. A presence that cannot be automated, duplicated, or outsourced. AI may rise, but it will never rise to the level of soul. Reclaiming your humanity. So what does it mean to be fully human in the age of machines? It means choosing depth over speed, being still in a world that never stops, creating beauty without needing it to perform, loving people even when it's inefficient, healing even when there's no reward, speaking truth when silence is safer. It means daring to be human on purpose, because the world doesn't need more machines, it needs more you. What happens when the work that once defined you disappears? For many, it feels like falling through a trapdoor. One moment you're standing on solid ground. The next, everything familiar is gone. A pink slip, an automated email, an announcement that your role is no longer required. And suddenly, the career you spent years building vanishes. Not because you failed, but because the system evolved without you. It's easy to call that failure. But what if it's something else? What if it's the beginning of finding the version of you that no job title could contain? Let's be honest, losing your job can break you. Not just financially, emotionally. You don't just lose income, you lose belonging. You lose your answer to so, what do? You lose part of how you see yourself in the mirror. And when society tells you that your worth is tied to your work, the loss feels personal. But here's what no one teaches you. Grief is not weakness. It's the gateway to reinvention. You are allowed to mourn, to cry, to be angry, to feel numb. These are not setbacks. They are sacred processes. Something beautiful happens when the old version of you dies. There is space. Raw, terrifying space. But also open, infinite space. It's where you begin to ask questions like, if I'm not this role, who am I? What did I silence in myself to fit into that system? What did I sacrifice for safety? What dream did I bury? These questions hurt, but they also heal, because they point you toward a self that's been waiting quietly inside you. Not efficient, not optimized, but true. Your work is a tool. Your job is a role. Your title is temporary, but your essence is eternal. No paycheck can define your capacity to love. No promotion can measure your ability to grow. No layoff can erase your worth. You are not your last role. You are every moment you showed up with heart. Every soul you uplifted. Every lesson you carried. Every silent act of courage no resume will ever list. That is who you are. And that version of you rooted, awake, whole can never be made redundant. There comes a moment, somewhere in the grief, when a shift happens. Not because things got easier, but because you got clearer. You realize the job was never the whole story. You realize there are other ways to serve. You realize you are more than what the world once asked you to be. And from that place of humility and wholeness, you begin again. Not from panic, but from possibility. Not to prove your worth, but to live from it. This is not a breakdown. This is a rebirth. When the system changes, your survival depends on skills, but your fulfillment depends on something deeper. Purpose. And in an AI-driven world, rediscovering purpose isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. You can lose your job. You can even lose an industry. But your purpose, your why can evolve, adapt, and outlast the machine. Because real purpose isn't tied to a title. It lives in the part of you no algorithm can touch. From childhood, many of us were taught, find what you're good at. Get a job doing that. Climb the ladder. Be happy. But we were sold a dangerous half-truth. That your value equals your utility. That your purpose lies in how much you produce. That if you can't be monetized, you don't matter. AI challenges that lie. Because it's becoming better at many of the things we used to define ourselves by. But here's the truth. If AI can do your job, it can never do your being. Purpose isn't what you do, it's how you show up. It's what you bring to the room. It's the difference only your presence makes. Real purpose isn't always grand or loud. Sometimes it's listening without interrupting, telling your story so others feel less alone, raising a child with gentleness, creating something beautiful no one understands but you, bringing light into a dark space. AI can perform tasks, but it cannot carry intention. It cannot embody love. And that's where your purpose lives. Your purpose doesn't have to stay tied to one job, company, or even industry. It can move with you, grow with you, reinvent with you. The teacher laid off can become a coach, an author, a speaker. The designer displaced by AI can become a brand storyteller, a mentor, a creative guide. The analyst can become a strategist, a community builder, a translator of complexity into meaning. Purpose isn't one thing. It's a thread that moves through many forms. And as you grow, it grows with you. What can't be automated? Let's make it clear. No matter how powerful AI becomes, it still cannot heal a broken heart, forgive someone who betrayed you, inspire through lived wisdom, sit quietly beside a grieving friend, choose to act with compassion. Purpose lives in those spaces, in the quiet, in the invisible, in the miracles of your humanity. So don't ask, what will the market let me do? Ask, what does the world need now that only someone with my scars, my joy, my soul, could offer? That is the beginning of a new purpose, one that no machine will ever take from you. Yet the most vital skills for this new era, they're not new at all. They're ancient, timeless, deeply human. In the age of AI, where technical mastery is increasingly automated, what stands out is not your ability to think like a machine, but your willingness to be fully, irreplaceably human. Let's explore the skills the future is begging us to remember. 1. Presence. In a world of distraction, presence is a revolution. Everyone is rushing, scrolling, reacting, multitasking. But the ability to be fully here, in the moment, is becoming rare. Presence is power. It's what allows a leader to read the room, a parent to truly see their child, a healer to hold space, a partner to feel another's truth without fixing it. AI can simulate conversation, but it can't offer true attention. And that is a priceless gift. 2. Listening. Machines respond, but they don't listen. Listening is more than hearing words. It's hearing what's not being said. It's sensing tone, breath, pause, pain. The best communicators are the best listeners. They create safety. They build trust. They open hearts. In a noisy world, listening is sacred. 3. Empathy. Empathy is not agreement. It's understanding. It's stepping into another's shoes without losing your own center. It's what allows us to connect across difference, to build bridges, to see the human in the stranger. Empathy cannot be programmed. It is learned through suffering, love, and presence. It's what helps teams thrive, families heal, and societies evolve. Empathy is the future of leadership. 4. Storytelling. AI can generate a story, but it can't live one. It can't tell you what it felt like to fail and get back up, to love and lose, to risk everything for a dream. You can. And when you share that story not as performance, but as offering people listen. Because stories carry meaning. Stories remind us we're not alone. In a world of data, story is how we remember who we are. 5. Curiosity. AI has knowledge, but only humans have wonder. Only we wake up asking, what if? Why not? What else could be possible? Curiosity keeps us from becoming obsolete. It invites play. It sparks invention. It leads us to paths no algorithm would suggest. Stay curious, and you'll never stop evolving. 6. Resilience. AI doesn't fall. It doesn't struggle. It doesn't break. But it also doesn't grow. You do. You've failed before. You've been rejected. You've questioned your worth. And still here you are. Not in spite of the hardship, but because of it. Resilience is not the absence of pain. It's the aliveness that remains. These aren't soft skills. These are core skills. They are your human inheritance. And they are more essential than ever. Because the future doesn't belong to those who mimic machines. It belongs to those who remember how to be fully human. When the world is uncertain, we often shrink to survival mode. Just get through the day. Just pay the bills. Just stay ahead of the next disruption. But what if this moment, this age of upheaval is not just asking you to survive? It's inviting you to live with significance. To build a life that means something. Not just to your bank account, but to your soul. Not just for your survival, but for your legacy. The trap of just enough. It's easy to make a life out of avoiding failure. Just enough to not get fired. Just enough to not be noticed. Just enough to avoid risk. But just enough slowly suffocates your spirit. Because you weren't made for caution. You were made for contribution. Your life is not meant to be a series of safe, small choices. It's meant to echo. Significance isn't size. We confuse significance with scale. But making a life that matters doesn't mean changing the whole world. It means being present with your child, creating art that heals one person, telling the truth when it's easier to stay silent, lifting someone up when they're too tired to keep going. Significance is doing the small things with great love. Machines can scale, but only you can serve from the heart. Living by design, not default. Most people live by accident, drifting into jobs, relationships, habits. But you can choose to live by design. Ask yourself, what do I value most? What does a meaningful day look like to me? Who do I want to become? Design your days around who you are, not what the world expects. When you align your time with your truth, your life begins to take shape. The currency of contribution. In the age of automation, the real wealth is not in data. It's in impact. The currency of the future is contribution. The ability to touch lives, shift hearts, awaken hope. Anyone can make money, but not everyone makes a difference. And you don't need permission to start. Look around you. Where is there loneliness? Where is there injustice? Where is there a story waiting to be told? Start there. Dying empty. There's a powerful idea in creativity. Die empty. Don't leave your song unsung. Don't bury your ideas with you. Don't carry your wisdom to the grave. Share it. Speak it. Give it. Because when you live for significance, your life becomes a ripple that outlives you. You were not made to survive in a machine's shadow. You were made to shine. And when you live from your essence, serve from your truth, and love with courage, you don't just stay relevant. You become legendary. Before you become who you're meant to be, you must let go of the version of you that's just surviving. You know that version. The one who wakes up exhausted, works endlessly but feels empty, stays busy to avoid asking the hard questions. That's not laziness. That's burnout. And in a world pushing for constant optimization, both from machines and people, burnout has become the silent epidemic of our era. But here's the truth. You don't have to burn out to prove your worth. You don't have to suffer to be valuable. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to reclaim hope. The hidden cost of trying to keep up. In the age of AI, the pressure isn't just to be good. It's to be faster, smarter, always on. We try to compete with machines at their own game. More emails, more content, more tasks, less sleep. But no human can outpace a machine without losing their humanity. And the cost is staggering. Chronic stress, disconnection, creative numbness, loss of meaning. You can't live on adrenaline and expect joy to survive. Burnout is not a personal failure. Burnout isn't about weakness. It's about misalignment. It's what happens when you work without purpose, serve without being seen, say yes when your soul screams no, carry more than your spirit can hold. It's not a sign that you're broken. It's a signal that something deeper wants to change. The courage to slow down. In a world addicted to speed, slowing down is rebellion. You are allowed to take a breath, take a walk, take a break, take your power back. This isn't about laziness. It's about recovery. Because the most creative, inspired, soul-filled people in history didn't just do. They rested. They listened inward. They knew when to pause. Your worth isn't proven by your pace. It's revealed by your presence. Rest as a revolutionary act. Rest is how we heal what hustle tried to bury. It's how we remember what we love, who we are, what we're here to give. In the age of machines, resting becomes a sacred act of resistance. Because when you reclaim your energy, you reclaim your voice. When you reclaim your joy, you reclaim your creativity. And when you reclaim your hope, you reclaim your future. You are not a machine. You are a soul, a rhythm, a breath. And when you heal from burnout, you rise not just restored, but reborn. It may feel like the end of jobs as we knew them, the end of certainty, the end of being needed. But history whispers a different truth. Every end has always been a beginning in disguise. And this moment, this massive, messy transition driven by AI, not the death of humanity's purpose. It's the rebirth of it. We are not entering an age of human irrelevance. We are entering a human renaissance, When machines rise, so can meaning. The Industrial Revolution gave us speed. The digital age gave us access. Now, the AI age is giving us space. Space to reimagine what it means to be wise, what it means to be well, what it means to be whole. When machines do the mundane, we are freed for the meaningful. More than ever, we're being asked, what do I really want to give my life to? What beauty can I create? What truth can I tell? What legacy can I leave? These are not algorithmic questions. These are human ones. The rise of the heart-based economy. In the past, we were paid for our hands, then our heads. Now, increasingly, we are paid for our hearts. Coaches, therapists, creators, artists, community builders, spiritual guides, healers, storytellers. These aren't fringe roles. They are the backbone of what the future needs. Because machines can scale processes, but only humans can scale connection. From productivity to presence. For centuries, society worshipped productivity. More output, faster delivery, higher efficiency. But what if the next evolution is not more? What if it's deeper? More presence, more listening, more embodiment, more reverence. The Renaissance wasn't born from business. It was born from a renewed reverence for beauty, spirit, truth. The same is possible now. You are not too late. You might worry. Am I already behind? Is it too late to change? Can I still thrive in this new world? Yes, yes, and yes. Because it's not about your resume. It's about your readiness. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs your awakened, messy, courageous heart. Right now, today, the human renaissance is not in the future. It's here, in this moment, in this choice. And you, yes, you are part of it. For most of your life, you were told what success meant. It was measurable, trackable, postable. Success was the job title, the salary, the house, the hustle, the reputation. And while none of those things are inherently wrong, something essential got lost in the noise. Your definition. Because if success doesn't align with your soul, it's not success at all. Redefining what matters. AI can generate outcomes, but only you can define meaning. So pause and ask, what does success feel like in my body? What gives me peace, not just applause? What would I still choose even if no one else saw it? Maybe success, for you, isn't more. Maybe it's slower mornings with your kids, work that energizes your spirit, creating art that heals you first, waking up not anxious, laughing more, worrying less. Maybe success is freedom. Maybe it's service. Maybe it's just being fully you. From status to satisfaction. AI may outperform humans in certain tasks, but it can't feel satisfied. It doesn't experience joy, or contentment, or love. But you can. The world may praise your hustle, but your soul longs for something deeper. Satisfaction. That quiet knowing that you are living in alignment. That you're no longer chasing, but creating. that you don't need to prove anymore, you simply are. The success of wholeness. We've celebrated burnout as ambition. But what if real success is sustainability? A life that feeds you instead of draining you. A schedule that honors your rhythm. A mind that's clear, a heart that's calm. Relationships that see all of you, not just your output. In this age, success isn't about being everything to everyone. It's about being fully yourself and giving from that wholeness. Creating a success you don't need to escape from. Many people build a life that looks good, but feels like a prison. They wait for vacations to feel alive. Wait for weekends to breathe. Wait for retirement to finally rest. That's not living. That's surviving in luxury. You deserve better. You deserve a life you don't need to numb or escape. A life that feels like you all the way through. Living fully, now. Don't wait for the world to give you permission. Don't wait for the market to validate your worth. Don't wait until everything is perfect. The moment to live fully is now. Even as AI evolves. Even as the future remains uncertain. Even as others chase the next big thing. You can choose a success rooted in presence, meaning, and joy. Because the most revolutionary success in the age of machines is to remain beautifully, boldly, unapologetically human. The machines will get smarter. That is no longer a debate. They will write books, make diagnoses, build empires of efficiency. They will predict, process, and produce. But they will never know the ache of being human. They will never cry in or at a sunset. They will never hold a trembling hand in the dark. They will never bleed, forgive, laugh until they lose breath. They will never know the beauty of being alive. That beauty belongs to you. And it's time to declare it. The Human Declaration. I am not here to compete with code. I am here to live with consciousness. I will not outsource my voice to machines. I will speak from my soul. I will not define myself by output. I will honor my being. I choose presence over performance, compassion over calculation, depth over speed, wonder over certainty. I refuse to be optimized out of my own existence. I am a creator, not just a consumer, a healer, not just a hustler, a story in motion, not a statistic. The future is not something I fear. It is something I will help shape. Through my choices. Through my courage. Through my humanity. Let the machines do what machines do. Let me do what only a human can. Feel. Connect. Grieve. Create. Rest. Imagine. Love. Let me live in a way that, when I'm gone, the world will know I was here, not because I was the most productive, but because I was the most present. The age of AI is not the end of us. It is the beginning of a more honest version of ourselves. So rise not in fear, but in freedom. You are not irrelevant. You are irreplaceable. You are not obsolete. You are essential. This is not your extinction. This is your awakening. The end and the beginning.